Time now to take a look at our equipment selections for the first edition Pathfinder Investigator. Hello there everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire, here to bring you the equipment portion of our guide to the first edition Pathfinder Investigator. Today we'll be going over just that, from your main standard adventuring fare, your general equipment like your armor, your weapons, and various magic items you're going to want to help supplement your abilities over the course of your career. But before we get into all of that, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or if you've already gone on ahead and listed yourself on such an incredible roster of legendary heroes, then go on down to hit the like button and share the video far and wide. But now, let's start things off by talking about the weapon you want to pick out. And this one that I have here for you, I may be overrating just a bit. Certainly things like the rapier are going to serve you much better, but we have the sword cane. This deals 1d6 points of damage plus your strength modifier, and it has a ×2 critical on a roll of a natural 20. There is also a DC 20 perception check to find the hidden blade, or it's DC 10 if it happens to be handled directly. However, while the sword cane might not be the most optimal choice, especially again in comparison to the rapier, it still works out fine in this instance because our weapon isn't our biggest source of our damage. It's studied strike. That is going to be delivering most of your damage overall. However, some enchantments to consider on here, aside from just getting your standard enhancement bonuses, would be something like Inspired. This provides a +1 bonus, or actually rather counts as a +1 bonus, because max you can typically enchant any piece of equipment is up to a +10 total modifier, 5 of which can be your enhancement bonuses that add in additions to your attack rolls and your damage rolls. But this will count against that, is what I'm getting at here. Investigators only need to use 1 inspiration on attack rolls. If they have combat inspiration already, then they can add double the result to the roll. That turns into a huge bonus rather quickly, because the minimum you can do is like +2, but say you're rolling d8s for your inspiration dice, so you're already floating around a 4 to 5 average right there, about 4.5. Being able to double that, and you're regularly adding in a +9 to your roll to be able to hit your target, that's going to be staggeringly beneficial. That is going to overcome almost any difficulty you might be having when it comes to hitting your target with your 3/4 attack bonus progression while using power attack. Also, as an example, taking that penalty to hit might hurt, but you're going to readily overcome it, particularly when you have the Inspired enhancement in place on your weapon. Now, for your armor, what I might recommend you get pretty quickly is the Shifting Jerkins. This will cost you 5,965 gold pieces, which is just an odd amount of money. But this +1 Lamellar Cuirass gives you a +3 AC bonus. Normally it's a +2, but that enhancement bonus kicks in for you there. A +4 maximum dexterity that you're able to apply to your defense, and 0 armor class penalty, and you maintain your 30 feet of movement while wearing this armor. On command, you can use Disguise Self, which that's going to be useful. If the wearer has a talents class feature, such as your Investigator talents, once a day they can spend 1 hour swapping one talent out that isn't a prerequisite for any talents or feats that you might have for another talent that you qualify for. So this gives you an incredible amount of flexibility for testing out the different talents, so you don't have to go through all the business and hassle of retraining if that's allowed. Generally, it probably will be, but this still will help you with being able to pick up other talents and see if maybe, if you're playing around with this build in particular, maybe you want to swap out some of those other talents that I listed for ones that are already in the build. Or maybe you want to test out any number of other things and see how well they combo together. This will let you do that. And even then, just this, again, this level of flexibility is just beneficial in and of itself beyond testing different abilities. This can bring up abilities that you may need for a particular moment. Then going on from there though, the pinnacle, the top tier of what you ideally want to be aiming for as far as armor goes is celestial armor. A lot of guides regularly list this, such as RPG Bot for example, but it's going to cost you a pretty penny at 22,400 gold pieces. This gives you +6 to your AC, +8 maximum dex bonus, and a -2 armor class penalty, but you still maintain your 30 feet of movement. This is essentially +3 chainmail, but it counts as light armor. The wearer can use fly on command 1 time a day, and this is definitely a wish list item. Grab it if you see it, kind of a thing, because odds are this isn't going to be the kind of armor you find for sale. This is loot through and through. Now, going on from there to a much more generalized mix of different magic items that you want to keep your eyes open for. First, we have the hybridization funnel. This is going to cost you 200 gold pieces. Over 10 minutes, you can combine 2 splash weapons with a DC 25 craft alchemy check, or DC 30 for using holy or unholy water. Mixtures will only be good for 24 hours, and half-elves get a +5 untyped bonus to this check. So this will let you mix a, let's see here, an acid vial and alchemist fire. Both of those are splash weapons. Both of those are liquids. They can be mixed. This can let you mix alchemist fire with holy water or unholy water. Any kind of splash weapon can go into this as long as it's a liquid, not a potion, and not an extract. But then after the hybridization funnel, we have the admixture vial. This comes in at 5,000 gold pieces, but it lets you combine 2 extracts of 3rd level or lower into one, as if you had the combined extracts discovery. This mixture can't be again combined using the combined extracts discovery with another extract, so you can't use this and the combined extracts discovery ability to mix things over and over and get something incredibly much more powerful on your hands. No, you're only allowed to do 2 extracts combined together once through whatever processes you have. So this is insanely valuable, will help to maximize your action economy. This is a great item to have, definitely worth its cost. But as valuable, if not more so, are Boro beads, costing anywhere from 1,000 to 36,000 gold pieces. This allows you to restore a consumed extract of the appropriate level as if it had not been consumed. The price is, of course, from 1st to 6th level beads. 6th level beads costing you 36,000 gold pieces, but this gets you a good deal more longevity throughout your adventuring day, especially since this is usable once a day, as if it needed any more additional benefits that had to be listed with it. So Boro beads are awesome to have, awesome to pick up. The early levels are probably going to be purchasable. A 6th level Boro bead, you're probably either having somebody make that for you, make it yourself, or finding it as treasure. Next, though, is the Investigator's Hat, 7,000 gold pieces, but you gain a +2 bonus on knowledge checks to identify monsters. It's an untyped bonus, so it's going to stack with everything else that you have. Investigators can use inspiration to identify a creature and record the result of the inspiration die to use again later on an attack roll, a skill check, or save against one of that creature's attacks. If you do so, you can't then use inspiration to roll another die and add that onto the roll. But it doesn't require you to an additional inspiration to make use of either. So spending an inspiration to identify a creature with any of those knowledge checks, you get to keep that die result and then apply it to an attack roll, skill check, and any of the options listed before. This is an awesome item to have. Absolutely fantastic. And again, another benefit towards action economies and the like. Then we have the Ring of Continuation. this is going to cost 56,000 gold pieces if you don't find it and somehow have an opportunity to buy it. This allows you to extend a spell with target self as the target requirements that last 10 minutes per level or higher. It will now last 24 hours. This will maximize your usage of your different extracts, any buffs that you might have in place that meet these requirements, either target self and last 10 minutes per level. That will now last 24 hours. Hugely beneficial for you. Also beneficial are going to be the Headband of Vast Intellect or the Belt of Incredible Dexterity. Either of these will cost 4,000 up to 36,000 gold pieces. You gain +2, +4, or +6 enhancement bonuses to the associated stat. In your case, your spellcasting stat and dexterity. And with the spellcasting stat being your intelligence, that is going to be very, very useful for you. And dexterity is just a prime stat, and this build definitely focuses on it. This will help your ability to hit at range and in melee. This is definitely a great combo to go for, and is not nearly as expensive as the later versions of either of these belts that provide bonuses to multiple mental stats or multiple physical stats. But from there is a classic item that no adventurer should be caught without, particularly not one that is built to engage in a melee, is the Ring of Protection. This will cost anywhere from 2,000 to 50,000 gold pieces. These rings provide a deflection bonus to armor class ranging from a +1 to +5. Definitely something that you want to have handy for yourself. And lastly, we have the Investigator's Pipe. This will cost 9,000 gold pieces. Investigators can summon a servant that functions as an unseen servant that appears as a wispy cloud of smoke. It can clear 1 5-foot square of fog or smoke, fetch items, and it lasts for 1 hour a day in 10-minute increments minimum if you want to break that up or spend the whole hour in one go. Investigators, though, can use inspiration on survival to track a target, or perception checks for fine details without having to spend an inspiration point. Once a day, you can attempt a knowledge check as if you had the eidetic recollection talent, which is basically an always take 10 on knowledge checks, which that safety and security is nice, is useful, especially since you are definitely built to be a skill monkey. This will allow you to maybe spread some more of your points around, but with your inspiration rolls and the like, it's not necessarily something that's imperative that you have, but by no means does it hurt. It's definitely even a benefit as well. And this Investigator's Pipe is definitely one that will be useful, and really, between that and the Investigator's Hat and the Sword Cane, I think it's pretty clear who we're making here overall. But what do you think? Go on down to the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Did you like today's video? Did you dislike it? I know I'm a bit sleepy right now. It's running a bit late, and this is the 5th take, so I'm definitely getting a little bit burned out, but it's probably the one I'm running with. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hit those like or dislike buttons. Let me know what other equipment you might recommend for your fellow investigators out there. And remember, if you've made it this far, you must have enjoyed something so far. Why not go down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. But with all that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your Master of Lore and Storyteller Extraordinaire. Thank you all so very much for your time, and you all have yourselves a good night.